Hey, future aviators! Welcome to Brightifyme Academy. Your journey to the cockpit starts right now. Stay tuned, stay motivated, and thank you for being here. Let's fly high.
So, you're an American pilot with a dream, taking the controls and flying across Europe. Well, today we are breaking down exactly how to make that happen by converting your FAA license to an EASA license. Let's get right into it.
I mean, come on, who hasn't pictured that? The idea of flying in Europe is just incredibly romantic. Planning that perfect VFR flight over ancient castles, seeing those coastlines from the cockpit, for so many pilots, that is the absolute pinnacle. Okay, but here's the thing, a little bit of a reality check. You can't just hop over to Italy and rent a plane with your FAA ticket. The European Union Aviation Safety Agency, or EASA, runs the show over there, and they have their own rule book. So to fly legally, you've got to go through a formal conversion process.
So here's how we're going to break this all down for you. We'll start with a pre-flight checklist of things you need right away. Then we'll dive into what some call the gauntlet, the tough theory and training. After that, the final check ride, what it takes to actually fly professionally, and finally, getting you cleared for takeoff with a look at costs and the final paperwork.
All right, first things first. Before you even think about booking exams or flight schools, you've got to make sure you have the basics in order. Let's cover what you need right at the very beginning.
So, the good news right off the bat is that it doesn't matter if you have a private, commercial, or even an airline transport pilot license from the FAA, you're eligible. But, and this is a big but, the path ahead of you is going to look very different depending on which license you hold. The journey for a PPL is way simpler than it is for an ATP.
Next up is the medical exam. And listen, if you're used to the FAA process, you need to brace yourself. The EASA medical is way more strict. We're talking more in-depth tests, think EKGs, audiograms, and the standards are just plain higher. You'll be shooting for a Class 1 medical if you want to fly professionally, or a Class 2 for private flying. Now this next one, this is the one that gets everybody. You could be a native English speaker from California and your FAA license clearly says English proficient. Doesn't matter. EASA still makes you take a separate English proficiency test. It's not about vocabulary, it's about making sure you can communicate clearly and handle weird situations on the radio.
Okay, so let's just zoom out for a second. Here's your entire journey, start to finish. You pass the tough medical, you ace that English test, you battle through a whole bunch of theory exams, complete some specialized flight training, and then you pass the final check ride. Trust me, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
All right, deep breath. We are now entering what many pilots call the gauntlet. This is, without a doubt, the hardest part of the whole thing, the mountain of theory exams and the specific flight training you have to complete.
Yeah, you are seeing that number correctly. 13. We're talking up to 13 separate, intense theoretical exams, especially if you're going for a CPL or ATP. Everything from air law to general navigation to, well, you name it.
And just to give you an idea of what we're talking about here, get this, the question bank for the EASA ATPL theory exam is 3 times bigger than what you're used to in the US. 3 times! That means you can't just memorize answers. You have to really know your stuff, inside and out. So yeah, get ready to study.
So, while you're hitting the books, you're also going to be getting back in the air. Now, this training isn't about learning to fly all over again, not at all. This is all about adapting. You'll be focusing on Europe's unique regulations, their super complex airspace, and flying these acclimatation hours to really get a feel for how they do things.
And I cannot stress this enough. Do not underestimate European airspace. It's a whole different ballgame from the US. The procedures, the classifications, it's all different. Pilots are always warned to take this part of the training very seriously. Okay, you've made it this far. You survived the medical, the English test, you battled through all those theory exams, you've done the flight training. There's just one more hurdle, the practical test to prove you've got the skills.
So the check ride itself, it's going to look and feel a lot like an FAA proficiency check, but think of it like the FAA check ride's older, stricter brother. The examiners are known to be tough, and they will zero in on your knowledge of those specific European rules and procedures.
Okay, here's a pro tip for you, and you're going to want to remember this one. Most of these check rides, they happen in a twin-engine aircraft. So do yourself a huge favor. Get the pilot's operating handbook for that plane way ahead of time and know it cold. It will make a world of difference.
So, you did it. You got the license. Amazing. But what if you want to do more than just fly for fun? What if you want a job with a European airline? Well,
Welcome to the final boss. This is the part where you realize the pilot license, that was just the key to the door. To actually walk through it and get a job, the list gets a lot tougher. You're almost certainly going to need the legal right to work in the EU, which means having a European passport or a work permit. And if you want to fly for a national carrier like Air France, you better be fluent in French.
And look, we gotta be real here. It's tough. The job market is super competitive. And all other things being equal, an airline is almost always gonna hire an EU citizen first if they can. It's not impossible if you're not, but it is a huge uphill battle.
We are on the final approach. You've done all the hard work. Now, let's talk about the final bits, the money and the paperwork to get that shiny new license in your hands.
So what's this going to set you back? Well, it really depends on where you're starting from. If you're converting a commercial pilot license, you're doing all the theory exams, the whole shebang, you could be looking at around 15,000 euros. But if you already have an FAA ATP, check this out. A lot of that theory is waived and the cost plummets to about 5,000 euros. Big difference.
All right, last step. It's time to gather up all your trophies. You're going to package everything up, your original FAA license, all your new medical certificates, your test results, the check ride report, and submit it to the National Aviation Authority. Then, after a few weeks, you are officially a European pilot.
And just like that, it's done. The license is in your hand, you've conquered the process. The whole of Europe is now your playground from the pilot's seat. So the only question left is, where are you heading first?
Dreaming of flying across the world? Not just India, but Paris, London, Dubai? An EASA license is your passport to global skies, recognized in 31 countries and accepted by airlines worldwide. Train in Europe with modern aircraft, multicultural exposure, and the world's highest safety standards. And yes, you can always convert back to DGCA if you choose to return. Confused about costs, universities, or visa process? We're here to help, for free. Hurry, click the link below to register for your free one-on-one consultation today. Limited seats available. Your global cockpit awaits.